Back there, I'm not used to getting out here this quick. Oh, you're early. Okay, I'm going to check the clock. You are early. Hi, welcome. Good to see you. I want to invite all of our lovely family members to come on in from the social hall. Take a seat. We're going to get going here for our 11 a.m. celebration. Good to see you here this morning. Good to see you. Is that Matt behind the camera? I'm like, what are you doing over there? You're in the wrong place. Throwing me off. Good to see all of you. Welcome. I'm Reverend Debbie McDonald. It's my joy to be here with you today. Hope you had a fun Thanksgiving weekend, whatever you chose to do. And here we are, December 1st. It's time for the holidays, and so we're right in gear here, kicking it off. I have a few invitations for you. We've got a few things going on here at Seaside. First of all, I want to mention our youth and family program. I know we talk about that every week, but it's really exciting to us that our kids are back. We have a wonderful youth director, Jessica Z. Zargaza, and am I saying that right? It's close. And she is just fabulous. If you're not signed up for her newsletter, you want to get it. We just got it a couple days ago. She just does a fabulous job and tells you what's going on with youth and family. And also, she could use some extra help, some extra hands working with our kids each Sunday. So if you're available for a few hours a month, she would love to get to know you and get you all ready to work with our kids. So please know that that's going on. Share it with your friends and neighbors, those of you that know people that have little ones, or if you have your grandchildren, bring them and let them experience the lovely learnings and teachings that we have here at Science of Mind at Centers for Spiritual Living. So what we've got going on here is, on next Wednesday, the 11th, is our annual remembrance service. So I would like to invite each of you to come on out. If you've experienced the passing of a loved one this year particularly, come and be with us. It's a wonderful time to remember your loved ones. We invite you to bring a picture or a memento of them and put it on our altar. And then everybody gets an opportunity to share for a few minutes about their loved one. So it's just a nice time to come together and remember those that have passed over in this holiday season. So that is on the 11th, next Wednesday. Next Sunday, the 8th, is our own Reverend Rebecca Berry's ordination. Everybody is invited. Ordination is a beautiful, wonderful ceremony for a minister. Dr. Kathy and Dr. Christian will be doing the ritual part of the ordination, and everybody's invited, and then there's a party afterwards. So come help celebrate our beautiful Reverend Rebecca. This Friday is our couples group meeting. They meet at Deborah and Boyd Rollins' community room where they live, and you can get the address, I believe, on the sign-up sheet at the connection group table. If you are a couple and haven't been, I encourage you to go. It sounds like they're having lots of fun times. They're getting together. They're doing all sorts of things. So it is the first Friday of every month, so it is this Friday, the 6th, that they'll be there. Also, the first Monday of the month is our deep sound meditation. We have 2 more in this cycle. So we have the first Monday of December and the first Monday of January, and then they'll be on hiatus until summer, which is usually kicked off by our Seaside sisters. And so if you're wanting to get in a little of your deep sound meditation, your opportunity is this Monday evening or the first Monday in January. And here's our beautiful minister who is going to be ordained next week that I was just talking about. So come celebrate Reverend Rebecca with us. Catch the Spirit Bookstore if you're needing to do some early holiday shopping, because there is only 24 shopping days until Christmas. We are really, I can't believe it's so close. But the bookstore has brought in all kinds of wonderful new things for the season. So check out what they've got. I know Barbara was in there with, and they're marking them and getting them out on the shelf. And we also brought in lots of books. We brought in Ernest Holmes books. So we don't carry a whole lot of books other than Science of Mind books anymore, but we did bring in a collection of various Ernest Holmes titles. And the Science of Mind magazine arrived. So it is here for December. So pick that up in the bookstore afterwards. And last but not least, Susan Murphy, who most of you know, she's one of our newest practitioners, and she's the leader of our kindness crew. She is once again putting together bags for those that are less fortunate, those who are experiencing homelessness right now. And so we're collecting this week, next week, and on the 15th, all sorts of items that could go in there. She has a list of what are the things that she's looking for, but things like socks, granola bars, toiletries, the small size, the toothbrushes, toothpaste. This year she's asking for Starbucks gift cards. She had an experience with a gentleman who was without a home, and he just wanted something hot to drink. So she said, let's put some Starbucks gift cards in there, and they can get a hot cup of coffee. And then on the 15th, we're going to stay after second service and put together 200 bags, which she will give to those of us that want them to have in our car. And when we're driving around town and we see somebody that might be less fortunate, we can give them that gift. So bring in your goodies and help us to put them together on the 15th. But what I'd like to ask you to do now is to please stand and greet your neighbor, and please remain standing for the congregational song.
Good morning, Seaside. We're getting into the Christmas spirit. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's
is that month. It is a wonderful time of the year. And good morning, Seaside. What a joy it is to be here with all of you and all of you at home. It is a joy to bring you this wonderful time of the year. And Rosie, you made it. I got a call yesterday afternoon from Rebecca, who's in Florida, saying Melody didn't make it back either. And you did, last second. So what a joy it is to have you here today. And I heard you got a pretty fun gig on the 11th, like at Humphreys or what?
Yeah, Humphreys Backstage Lounge, which is the nice, intimate backstage. And we're doing Dark Side of the Moon in its entirety, Pink Floyd album. So that's going to be, I think, around 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, so nice and early, perfect time.
Wow.
But, yeah,
I can remember that album. I used to just space out to it in upstairs. It was like pretty wild stuff. I'll leave it at that.
Right. So come again.
Yes.
Get wild.
Okay. Hey, thank you. I'm glad you're here. Appreciate it. And you know who is here is a wonderful prayer. This is Kay Samuelson. And she was here yesterday to set up our Christmas tree. And after she got it, we came to realize that we didn't have a Christmas tree stand, that we probably sold it at our yard sale this spring as we were clearing out the attic. And so we're... That's it. But anyway, so you've got an answer, right? I hope.
We have one from Amazon.
Oh, okay. They do deliver good. Anyway, Kay Samuelson, wonderful practitioner. Emeritus?
Emeritus.
Yes, my goodness.
I am.
Well, wow,
like
a long time been praying us in wonderful ways. Take us to that deeper place, please.
Oh, man, I walked in and they're singing Christmas carols and I felt so silly. Oh, yes, here we go into a new season. It's the holiday of lights. And so I'm just truly grateful just to be here, to be present. Just to acknowledge Seaside's consciousness, knowing that our experience grows as our consciousness grows. And so it is that Christ consciousness that we're moving into, and Christian so lovingly carries us through this new season, this new way of feeling the light within. And I'm grateful for the practitioners here that so heartfully just give up their time and create this sacred space and offer prayer and meditation from the heart. And so I wanted to invite Susan Murphy to the stage to light the candle. And the candle represents that illumination, that radiance, that light within each one of us. That is the beloved, the divine. And Susan and a few practitioners will be back at the prayer wall in the corner where the dolphin is. And so please give yourself the gift of prayer after the service. We are available in a caring heart. And so with this, I invite you just a few moments in the stillness, knowing that when the mind is still, the heart and the mind come together in coherence and create that blessing of peace, that presence and the power of this moment. I know there is one universal life force, and we give individual expression to this. It breathes me, it beats my heart. It brings me into alignment, poised in harmony, peace. It unfolds its own perfection effortlessly. We are each unique individual vibration and soul frequency. We are all one in this power, in this presence of life. And I know it is consciousness, a picture in itself, as this community, as the love that we hold in our hearts and in our souls. It is that unified field of infinite perfection. There is nothing to do. It is just to receive, knowing that we are the blessings of the beloved Spirit. In our experience today, that is the divine matrix of life, intelligence, the peace and the harmony. It is the joy that we feel as Reverend Christian continues to inspire us. For he's an individual expression of that joy, that authentic expression of joy. So it is with deep gratitude that I allow this day and this experience to be exactly what it should be and what it is for each individual. We have our own perception, but I know that we are all one in consciousness. And it is love that it clears the way for this consciousness to be the highest and the best for all of us. And so it is.
It was beautiful, Rosie. We let the love wash over us. It's like you could feel it as you're singing it, that love is just washing over us. Thank you so much. It was beautiful. Thank you, Max, for your accompaniment, and Kay for your prayer. Thank you for anchoring us so beautifully in prayer. Good to see all of you. Welcome. Good to see you on this wonderful Thanksgiving weekend, December 1st, which just blows my mind for some reason. I just don't ever remember it happening, but I know that it has happened before. Welcome to all of you that are tuning in from home. We're grateful that you're here, wherever you're tuning in from. Grateful to have you always. And I want to welcome each and every one of you that's here in the sanctuary. I want to especially welcome anybody who might be here for the first time. If it is your first time, please know you're welcome. We honor all paths to God. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. And we do have a first-time visitors package for you. It's the table as you come in through the double doors there into our social hall. Pick it up, take it home, take a look at it, see if we might be what it is that you're looking for. We are a very inclusive, wonderful, diverse spiritual family. And as I said, all are welcome. Let's see, are you meeting today? So I didn't say that. The Seaside singles are meeting today, and I take it you're going to Brad's house. So if you are single, we also have our singles group meeting today, and grateful that you're here. Our leadership is meeting today after service too, so I see many of our leadership, our leaders here. So we'll be meeting in Quimby after the second service. And I wanted to mention our flowers. I don't see our beautiful Linda. She's here somewhere. There she is. Our flowers today, our flower ministry, which is run by Nicole Johnson. And every week we have had our calendar filled up with those of you that have signed up to have flowers in honor of a loved one or a birthday or a celebration. We do have the calendar up for 2025. We've got our first sign up for that one. But today's flowers are from our beautiful Linda Amerson, who is the assistant to the ministers and your Sunday coordinator. So thank you, Linda. We love you. We love you. Glad that you're here. So we are in a new season, and we are kicking off with Dr. Christian's talk title today, which is A River of Joy. And that comes from his new book, which many of us were able to get last week. Dr. Christian was signing books last week, but they are available now in our Seaside bookstore, or you can purchase it on Amazon. Now, this book was written by Dr. Christian and Reverend Catherine Economo. And right before Catherine's transition, just a few days really before, Dr. Christian went to visit her at her home, and she handed him the book, and it's where it was at that point in time, and he was charged with finishing it, completing it, and getting it published. And so it is here for all of us. It is just filled with this sense of love from the two of them. And one of the wonderful things about this book is that Dr. Christian made the decision that all of the proceeds from this book will go to Reverend Catherine's daughter's Emily's college fund. So all of that will be going there. So pick up your book, and if you're really nice and ask very nice, maybe Dr. Christian will sign it for you. So I'm going to do a reading today from that book. This one is titled, Let Go and Allow. Learn to let go. That is the key to happiness, the Buddha. Many people struggle with change, clinging to the past and using their energy to keep things the same. This fear of the future can prevent them from enjoying the present and exploring new possibilities. Letting go and allowing are key practices for finding happiness and joy, regardless of our circumstances. These practices involve releasing attachment to outcomes, accepting the present moment, and adopting a more relaxed and open approach to life. Recognize that life is constantly changing and nothing stays the same forever. By embracing this impermanence, you can let go of specific expectations and remain open to new opportunities. Trust in the perfect unfolding of life, knowing that everything happens for a reason, even if the outcome isn't immediately clear. Letting go and allowing life to flow can be exhilarating when you realize that the universe wants you to have everything you desire, and even more than you can imagine. Let go and allow. God bless you. So very glad that you're here today.
Seaside, help me give a warm Seaside welcome to Katie Grady. She is a busy performer around town. She performs regularly with Lambs Players Theater. So if you saw Respect, she performed Respect with our very own Rebecca Jade at Lambs Players Theater. And currently she's doing Respectfully Christmas with a lot of the cast from Respect. And that is playing through December 29th. And then coming up in 2025, she'll be doing a June Carter, Johnny Cash tribute with her husband called Because You're Mine. So I want to see that. That sounds like a lot of fun. So follow Katie so we can come support that. All right.
Thank you.
Santa's on his way.
And this is Katie Grady. Woo! All the way from Lamb's Players to Seaside. You are welcome to sit down, or you can stay there. Either way. You're going to stay there? Okay. That's good. No making too many faces behind me. Anyway, great job, guys. Good guys from the Seaside Band. All right. So let's see. So here we are in December. We got that whole joy thing going on right now. And I love joy. Joy's my jam. Cahill, not Cahill, but my dad. No, Cahill to that one. Anyway, but my dad, in his big booming voice, would always start his Sunday mornings, or if he was here on Seaside stage, with the line from the 118th Psalm, where he said, "This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." Remember that? It's like this booming voice, let us rejoice and be glad. This is the day that Spirit has made. This is like that happening time and place to be in our life. And Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, the French Jesuit Catholic priest, philosopher, he said that joy is the infallible sign of the presence of God. Joy is the experience of God. You know, God is love, but joy is the experience of that. And Ernest Holmes, he talked about the joy aspect of Spirit as well. You can find this in the Holmes Papers, Volume 2, where he writes that God dances all the dances. He sings all the songs, does all the art, all the writings and books God created. You know, God is this joy. God is this expression. You know, this idea of God being light and filled with joy is a lot more fun than going with that heavy kind of God. See, you get to decide which one you're going with, you know, the one that is interferes. But, you know, the Hindu philosophy, they've got the Krishna, right? And Krishna is really the incarnation of one of their supreme deities of their trinity, Vishnu. And he's looked upon as the eternal lover, musician, dancer. You know, he gets lost in the dance of ecstasy and the divine union with Spirit. He is one that leaves us this lesson that to be godly, you don't have to be so serious. It's okay to dance and sing, play music, sing, make love, you know, enjoy yourself in this world. You know, is here to remind us that, you know what, it is living moment to moment with the celebration of the divine unity, consciousness that allows us to live with laughter and smiles and to see things in a greater way and not to get swept up into the heaviness and the headlines and the things that are being put upon us, so we would live in fear and we would live in intimidation or live within guilt or to live within shame. There are a lot of spiritual philosophies that say joy is the way to go, guys. You have a choice. You can be groveling on the ground, or you could be singing and dancing and feasting and having fun. How you want to do it? Woo, yeah. That is definitely the Seaside way for sure, is to approach God with joy. You know, there was this monastery in the mountains somewhere. That's where monasteries are, somewhere in the mountains. Anyway, and a gentleman who was an affluent guy, he came to the gates, and the gatekeeper opened up the gates of the monastery, and this rich man gave him a big bundle of grapes. And just said, thank you. You guys have been here when, I was less fortunate. My life has become fortunate. And it's my joy to just be able to say thank you for being there in my rough times. And the gatekeeper just said, thank you. He was filled with joy with all these grapes and closed the door. And they thought, well, you know what? I want to give these grapes to the sexton. No, not the sexton. It's the abbot. He wants to give them to the abbot because the abbot's the one who taught him kindness. And so he gave them to the abbot. The abbot was filled with joy. I got all these grapes. These are fabulous. And but then he thought, you know what? I want to give them to someone who could really use them. And we've got this sick monk. So I'm going to give these grapes to this monk, and maybe it will bring him joy. And he gave the grapes to the sick monk, and the sick monk got lit up, got better, is filled with a sense of joy because of the grapes. And now he had the grapes, but he's thinking, you know what, I want to give them to the cook. You know, the cook is really, the one who's taking care of me in these rough times. He gave him to the cook, but the cook cooks. He gives the food away. So he decided he was going to give it to the sexton who takes care of the grounds and the gardens and said, here, thank you so much. And the sexton was just filled with a sense of joy. I got some grapes. How fabulous. But he thought, you know what? I want to give it to a new monk who could learn about the beauty of giving and kindness. And so he gave them to a new monk who didn't know that he was even worthy to receive it. It was real joyful to get those. But he thought, you know what? The gatekeeper is the one who let me into the monastery for the first time and gave me a big hug. And so he gave them to the gatekeeper. And the gatekeeper just giggled and laughed. It's like I knew the joy was coming back to me. When we put our joy out there, when we get into that river of life, when we allow that river of joy to move through us, we have this unending flow of greater possibilities that are flowing forth from us, through us, enriching our life, bringing greater light to our life. And we are hearing something that others may not be seeing. They may be grumbling about the times or elections or the markets or who knows what people are complaining about, but it's because they are not seeing the joy possibility that is there. It is always available to those that are able to see and to embrace that. Friedrich Nietzsche, German philosopher from the 1800s, he said that, oh man, let me grab it back. What did he say? I'll tell you in a second. Oh man, okay, I'll tell you later. No, I remember because it's one of my favorite Nietzsche quotes, actually. And you've probably heard it because I love it. He said, those who are seen dancing were thought insane by those that can't hear the music. People may think you're insane because you're choosing joy. But, you know, there's this river, this wellspring, this unending something that is forever flowing. And you get to choose, am I going to live in this joy? Jesus, whose season we're kind of celebrating these days, you know, was all about joy. You know, when he arrived in this world, there was great joy. We even sing joy to the world on this guy's arrival. And the joy was brought to, the shepherds in the fields of the angelic proclamation. I bring you glad tidings and great joy. You know, the guy's been born. The wise ones, those magi's, you know, it said that they were filled with anticipation and exceeding joy because they were bringing presents worthy of a king. You know, that's what brought them excitement. The joy, I mean, people still get excited when they enter into that Christ consciousness, that sense of healing, the transformation, the renewing. I mean, that joy thing is still going on. And we heard last week when I talked about it started with Jesus as a kid when he turned water into wine. You talk about a joy thing, man. That turned the party around instantly like that. You know, or the return of the prodigal kid, the joy that came from reconciliation that was going on, or the story of the sheep when they came back to the shepherd, those that have lost their way coming home. It brings great joy. And so we may have our straying, we may have these difficult times in our life, but you know what? Life is not about wading through the storms. It's about learning to dance in the rain. It's about learning how to, embrace, get going, and wonder, where's God here? What is it? I need to know about this. Why, if I'm using joy as my compass or my barometer, and it's not bringing joy, what do I need to know here? God, talk to me, fill me in, because I'm not feeling it. And I know that is my natural state. So what is it I need to do? We've got to wonder. But something St. Augustine wrote. He said, people travel afar to wonder at the beauty and the height of mountains, at the huge waves crashing in the ocean, at the star's circular motion at night. And they pass right by themselves without ever wondering. We go all over. We're trying to wonder, to contemplate, and we don't even bother to reflect where we are in our life. I mean, things happen, and we don't even think twice. Well, I don't know, we don't, but there was a guy who shared how, I cannot believe it. My neighbor rang my door at 5 a.m. in the morning. Fortunately, I was awake, playing the drums, singing, and dancing. How are we calling things upon ourselves? We don't even bother to pay attention sometimes. Joy is probably one of the simplest forms of gratitude. And we just got out of a whole week of gratitude. Out of gratitude, did you feel good being thankful? Expressing your love and the blessings that someone or something in your life has brought you in your world. Joy is the simplest form of gratitude. And we find joy not in things, but in ourselves. Kind of like some things, but, as kids, it's kind of our lessons. We're kind of learning to that things are not necessarily what brings us joy. But there's a cute little story of a couple brothers. They were at their grandmother or their grandparents' house, like a week before Christmas, and it's time to go to bed. And so the two little brothers, went in and kneeled down and did their prayers. And the youngest one was just praying at the top of his lungs. God, I'm praying for Christmas, a new bicycle. I am praying for a new iPad. God, I'm praying for a new Xbox. And finally, the older brother kind of nudged him and said, bro, God is not deaf. You don't need to be shouting at the top of your lungs. It's not like he can't hear you. And he said, I know, but grandma's deaf, and she can't hear. Joy is an infallible sign of God. And joy is a result of allowing ourselves. Joy is what happens. Here we go. Joy is what happens when we recognize how good life is. Yeah, how good life is. I think I shared last week, if not, I should have, but from the Taoist philosophy, Lao Tzu saying that rejoice in what you have and nothing will be lacking. Rejoice in what you have and recognize that nothing is lacking, is what he said. Rejoice in what you have and recognize that nothing is lacking, and then the whole world belongs to you. Right? Rejoice. There's another thing. Rejoice. Be in joy. Allow that river of life to move through you, to feel through you. There's a little guy, 10 years old. It was in the days when ice cream sundaes were a lot less expensive than they are now. And this little guy, he goes into the ice cream parlor, and he sits down at the counter. And the waitress comes over and puts his water right there and asks him, what would you like? And, he says, how much is an ice cream sundae? And she says it's 50 cents. So he reaches in the pocket, pulls out all his coins. You can see her getting a little impatient now. Yeah? And he said, well, how much is just a plain ice cream? And she said, 35 cents. So, okay, well, bring me a dish of just plain ice cream. And so she brought the dish, put his, receipt, right next to the plate. And she left, never saw him again. And he finished his ice cream. And when he got up, he grabbed the ticket and he went to the cashier and he paid his 35 cents for his plain ice cream. And when the waitress came back to wipe down the counter, she found sitting on the counter 15 cents, a nickel and a dime. He had the money for a full sundae, but he didn't have enough to leave her a tip. And so he chose to leave her 15 cents. When you rejoice in what you have, you're lacking nothing, and the whole world belongs to you. And that kid, man, he was just feeling better. It's like that joy of being able to be in that place at the level in which he gave 100% of what he had. How beautiful is that? Because the joy was in his heart. Carlos Santana, he said, when you carry joy in your heart, healing can happen at any moment. When you carry joy in your heart, healing can happen at any moment. But what happens so often for some people is that we'll build a wall around our heart. You build a wall because you've been hurt. Don't want to be hurt again. You can keep that pain out. People can't say things, can't do things. I am protected from that. But what happens also is that wall keeps the joy out. That wall keeps the love out. That wall is keeping you from the very place of vulnerability and receptivity and transparency, and the places where joy is something that is felt. It is not conjured up in the brain, and it's only as we are available for it to touch down that the magic and the wonder can happen. Rumi, a wonderful Sufi mystic, 13th century, he said, oh God, let lovers be content. Give them happy endings. Let them dance in celebration all the time. And allow the heart to dance in the fire of your eternal love. Let there be that celebration all the time. Let the hearts dance, the fire of love. Let the hearts dance in that place where we burn and we just become one, and dance like Christian as we become one in that divine unity, ecstasy, in that sense of oneness with the God, that there is the merging of that spirit in our life, that all of a sudden that magic that we have allowed ourselves to experience begins to dissolve the walls, and that river of life will bust them away. When we allow ourselves to be that in that river of joy, it brings into our life and our experiencing the blessings, and we become like children again. We become that place where all of a sudden you begin to believe in a way that you're not worried about tomorrow, right? You're worried about the joy of today, of playing today, of being in the now, because that is where the joy is going on. Well, I'm going to be joyful next week when I get here. Why not celebrating your life all the time? Ernest Holmes, the founder of our philosophy, he wrote in a book called It's Up to You, that we must enter into the spirit of life, into the usefulness of the creative endeavor. I mean, if we feel that we're simply onlookers and not participants in the game of life, we should rediscover the youthful spirit of that childlike joy which gave to us the energy, the happiness, the security, and the faith that we had as children. That security, that happiness, that joy, that just believe my job today is to go out and play. Is that not a great assignment to have? My job today is to go out and play. Where'd we lose that? Come on. It's not a class, so you don't have to answer me, but something to think about when you take it home. When did life become so serious? If you can remember, Krishna, about dancing, feasting, singing, making love, we're at choice with all that, no matter what our situation is. There's a story I've enjoyed. I've probably shared it with you before, but it's about a young guy who started in a college. And first day back at school in the fall, he starts college, and the professor says, I'm going to challenge all of you to meet someone that you don't know. And so, he stood up and was looking around a little nervously, and he felt this little gentle touch on his shoulder. And he turned around, and he looked down at this 87-year-old lady who just had a smile that lit up her whole being. Her eyes twinkled, and she was just warm. And she said, hi, handsome. I'm Rose. I'm 87 years old. Can I give you a hug? And he's just laughed and said, sure, give me a hug. And asked her, what brings a woman of your age to college? And she said, kind of jokingly, well, I am looking for a rich husband to get married and have children with. And he said, no. Seriously, why are you here? She said, well, I started college once, but I was too busy. I didn't have time to finish it. I always wanted to get a college education, and this was my time, and this was my opportunity. And so they became best of friends. After the class, they walked to the student union building. They shared a milkshake together, and for the next 3 months, they were inseparable. But the truth about Rose is that she became a campus icon. This little 87-year-old who used to like to, she would like to dress up, and she would just revel in the attention, and people just doted upon her, and she was just so loved that at the end of that semester, the football team asked her to do the banquet talk for them. And so all, the big guys are there, and this little frail 87-year-old who just smiles, came to the podium. He was a little nervous, and she got ready to deliver her prepared speech, and she dropped her 3x5 cards all over the ground. They spread out, all gone. And, she was a little embarrassed, to say the least, frustrated. Anyway, she just leaned into the podium and said, I'm sorry, I'm a little jittery here. I just gave up beer for Lent, and this whiskey is just killing me. Yeah. And then she went on to share with everyone that, people don't stop playing because they get old. They get old because they stop playing. And there's a few secrets to happiness, and that's joy and laughter and humor. And she said, always have a dream, because those without a dream are dead. They're like walking zombies, walking dead in the world. You've got to have something that you are going for, because there's a difference between growing up and growing old. it's like a 19-year-old, if he stayed in bed and was unproductive for a year, he would still turn 20. No stopping him. I'm 87 years old, and if I didn't do anything for a year, I'd still turn 88. So, just growing up, it doesn't take any ability or talent, or growing old doesn't. But growing up, you've got to have something that you're going for. And I'll tell you, people my age, their regrets are not around what they did. They're around what they didn't do. So what I want you all to do is to go home and listen to the song Rose, remember that one? And see if you can live by those lyrics in your life. Well, Rose went on to graduate from college at the end of that college year. And what's interesting is a year after she graduated, Rose died in her sleep, peacefully, and moved on. And when they held her memorial service, there was over 2,000 college kids that showed up to honor her life and remember her message of joy, laughter, and humor in life. Those who have joy in their hearts and a little bit of laughter on their lips are individuals who in the depths of their being has just some little bit of a grasp on life. So remember, joy happens when we allow ourselves to recognize how good life is. And when we recognize that nothing is lacking and that life is good, we can't help but to be filled with joy, which is a simple form of gratitude. And if we're living in the river, it is flowing through us. And as we bring it out into the world, it blesses others around us. And like that gatekeeper, if you put the joy out there, it's coming back into your life because that river is moving, and it is moving toward the ocean. It is moving towards the divine. It is moving toward that place of joy, the infinite sign of the presence of God. Do you have it? God bless you as we do it. Hey, let's keep it going as we bring Grady back to our stage.
This one is a Sarah Bareilles song called Love is Christmas. I don't care if the house is packed or the strings of light are broken. I don't care if the gifts are wrapped or there's nothing here to open. Love is not a toy, and no paper will conceal it. Love is simply joy that I'm home. I don't care if the carpet's stained, we've got food upon our table. I don't care if it's gonna rain, our little room is warm and stable. Love is who we are, and no season can contain it. Love would never fall for that. We sing ooh
Katie Grady. What a beautiful song and a beautiful voice. Thank you. And, and if you got to slip out, Katie did 2 shows yesterday at the Lambs Player and has a 2 o'clock show today at the Lambs. That's like 3 shows in 24 hours. 4 shows if you include Seaside. That's just all in a day's work. Anyway, that was beautiful. Thank you. Katie Grady. Well, this is time of our service where we have the opportunity to share our gift. And as we give, it just puts us into that river, that wonderful flowing river. As you send it forth, it comes back into our life. Jesus talked about casting the bread upon the waters. That's what comes back. And so as we put ourselves in a conscious partnership and recognizing that the source of our ideas and our good and our health and our well-being and our creations is coming from that wonderful vibration of connecting with a greater picture of what is possible in our life, we're able to relax when things are shaking. We don't wait out the storms. We dance in the rain and realize this is the time to really take it forward. So anyway, this time of our service where we get to give our gift, I just thank you in advance and want to call up our ushers and greeters as we take our gifts from our heart and our soul. And I want to say thank you to those who mail in your contributions when you're not here. It's greatly appreciated. And for those of you at home that send it in or hit one of those tabs on your screen right now, it's greatly appreciated. And all of us, we're close to 200 families this year that are part of our Auto Tithe program that says, you know what, I support this community whether I'm here or not. And we just went through our pledge season or program. It's just about everybody leveled up. So my heart goes out to each of you in appreciation for your gifts. So whatever level that is, it's all of us that allow us to come together in this beautiful place. And yes. So I share this prayer of thanksgiving with the most generous of spiritual communities. For I just stand here in awesome wonder. I don't need to travel far to wonder, but I just stand here in awe and just rejoice with the good that is, the blessing that is in each and every one of our lives. For this is a community who's consciously inviting that higher vibration of our self-expression to raise us ever higher in our life, to level up in our world and life. And I know for each of us there is a greater sense of peace and calm and trust in our world as we begin to participate in the wonderful expression of that which is near and dear to our heart and our soul. And I say thank you, Father, Mother God, for this opportunity to be in a conscious giving kind of way and recognizing that as I remember to put Spirit first, Spirit always shows up in my world first. And with that comes that sense of security in knowing that Spirit has got it handled. So grateful that this is a moment. I say thank you and I let go and allow it to be. And so it is. Amen. And together, let us say this affirmation of abundance, which is, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully, I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. great job. And so I stand before this bounty, and I can feel the outpouring, the love, and the caring, and the blessings. For truly I know that the givers' lives are enriched in all the perfect and relevant kinds of ways. I say thank you, Father, Mother God, for this wonderful collective bounty that pours forth into Seaside to support the divine vision of making a difference in people's lives, to be a thriving spiritual community, inspiring people to live their divinity. For this gift that has been given in love, it blesses the giver, but it also blesses Seaside. And so this gift is handled in good stewardship. It's set forth back into life, bringing that wonderful infused blessings to all that comes in contact, just like the grapes moving around, bringing the joy and the blessings. I say thank you, Father, Mother God, for this opportunity to be part of this flow, and so it is. Amen. All right. Hey, this is Nicole Johnson. She is your board president here at Seaside, and also the head of our flower community, our gifts. And I guess the flowers there from Linda. So Linda, they're beautiful. Thank you very much for that. So love ya. Hey, Rosie, just thank you for stepping in last minute yesterday afternoon. Said yes and got us here. And look who you got to play with today. Katie Grady, my goodness, from the Lambs Players here on our stage. How blessed we are to have your beautiful voice. Thank you for getting us in that Christmas spirit. First Christmas songs of the season for me. And Reverend Debbie, always a joy to create with you. And Wednesday, the 11th, you got a big service, remembrance service, kind of turned into an annual thing where people bring their, just a memory or a picture and put it on the altar. And it's just a time to be conscious of those that aren't physically in your life, but definitely in your heart and your soul. So that's the 11th here. So thank you for doing that. And Seth, thank you for being there in the sound booth. And let Matthew leave you on your own. Oh, my goodness. So thank you. And Sarah, bless you for the wonderful slides you create for us week after week. And this wonderful film team, bless you for just making everything so good for all of you at home. And there's Matthew hanging out behind that camera. So thank you for that. And behind the wall is Steve, Grant, and Dee, who are cutting it up and editing it for you guys on a live feed. So it takes a lot to bring this filming community to you. Anyway, hey, it's another great week at Seaside. They just seem to be great weeks. I mean, last week was pretty magnificent. Chili cook-off, even if I didn't win Best Chili, I am still, I thought it was a great week. And I got to figure out who the judges are in advance. But that I'll save that thought for next year. But anyway, today the singles are getting together after service. Nobody needs to be alone around here. Monday night we have the sound meditation that is happening. That's going to be wild. The couples group is getting together on Friday night. There's so much that is taking place in this community. We've got the candlelight service, but we're not calling it candlelight anymore. I think we're calling it family celebration service. Come home for the holidays kind of thing, because it's not that high holiday one. It's more festive. It's the living room where we laugh and do crazy things together. The girls sing Santa Baby, and the guys sing Boston Charlie. You have to experience it. And then next Sunday, the big news is we got ordination going on. Reverend Rebecca is being raised to the ranks of ordained minister, which is saying she put in the years of licentiateship and a success. There's a lot going on, but we got our kids. That's what's happened in here. My goodness. Hey, guys, anybody want to share anything? You want to share something? Chantel? No? Yeah?
No, thank you.
Oh, you're polite.
Hi. Good morning.
How's it going?
Adrian, just say hi.
Hi.
That's what we got. Yeah. Okay, Chloe, you want to stand up really quick? You want to stand up? Here, stand up. Show everybody what you did. It's as tall as you are. Oh my goodness, can you stand up? Okay. She's like, oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
So today we made this. How many days is there till Christmas, guys? 25. There's 25. So every day they get to pull one apart. And what happens when we get to the plate? It's Christmas.
I want one of those. I'm all about Christmas. So thank you. And hey, Chloe, are you going to be the drummer girl this year at our candlelight service?
And Chloe's our drummer girl.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, Paul, we got to get some sticks for her so she can practice. Yeah. You got them right now? Yeah, sure. I'll give. So, Chloe. No, yeah. Well, you want to bring them next week? You got some? Okay, we'll get you up here, Chloe. Anyway. Yeah, I apologize to the parents in advance. Anyway, I'm going to pray. Healing is, the thrust of this movement since its conception. The laughter is good. The songs are wonderful. The messages, hopefully, have some inspiration to them. But, it all leads to this moment where we are able to move collectively in consciousness to that place of the higher expression of spirit. And so I'd like to invite any of our religious science practitioners to stand in this moment as I just allow myself to level up and to move to that place of that divine residence where it becomes so real that there is no otherness, that I'm able to feel and sense that power, that presence, that love, that light, that life, that joy, that abundance, that ease, that grace, that wonder, just the infallible sign, the presence of God is joy, and that becomes my barometer. And so I allow myself to line up with that and be that place where the Spirit touches down, where I can feel that reverberation, the Spirit within me, as me, and I speak from this place with the recognition and the realization of the divine blessings that are ever available for each and every one of us. So it's in this moment, in this wonderful field of infinite possibilities, that I invite you to lift into this consciousness anything that you might be working on in your world. Any blessings, any grace, any good, any challenges. Just allow Spirit to take care and bring that to the next level within life, to level up to the wonderful way of being with this greater expression as life, so that the abundance flows. The health is the natural state of being. Anything unlike the dis-ease, discomfort fades into the nothingness from which it came. And what remains is this clear conduit of the divine flow. And anything that ever impeded it begins to just be obliterated. It's gone. It's a non-issue. And what remains is this river of life, this river of joy, this river of blessings and good that is moving and grooving and pushing out anything, washing away that which does not support the magnificence of being. So it's in this state of realization of the divine frequency of being that all is transformed. Whatever area we might be working on, let us know the higher way of seeing sees, it knows. And we become the recipients of this wonderful circulation that brings joy, that allows us to share joy. Every prayer request that's been brought forth to our community is now fulfilled. There's just a great sense of awe as I stand in awesome wonder of all that God is, that I am, you are, and how it takes form in our life, the simple form of joy with gratitude. Right? I just let go with thanksgiving, appreciation, with a higher frequency of well-being. I let go and allow Spirit to have its way as our life in the perfect way now. And so it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling to make it through another day, you've gotta let it go. And this is what you gotta say: I release and I let go. I let
And our affirmation for the week is, I am a river of joy. Together, I am a river of joy. Touch your heart and let's say it again. I am a river of joy. One more time, like it's your truth. Come on. I am a river of joy. And our song of grace.
Living in peace, I'm living in peace. I'm living my life in one family, through joys and through fears. Grace shines on me and it shines on us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We're living in love. We're living in peace. United we stand as one family. We honor our truth as together we walk. With grace moves through me and it moves through us all. We are